Hi everybody, this is Debbie, from Teacher Success Coach. I hope that you guys are well. Right, this is day four of school reopening after the summer break. Yes, I'm still loving it. It's just been still really, really fantastic. And what am I grateful for today? I'm grateful for the fact that I'm alive. I'm also grateful for the fact that I am now teaching at a really, really good school because I've had a number of challenges regarding schools over the last academic year. What I mean by that is I've had the opportunity to have been to teach rather at various schools, and it was real an eye opener for me. It gave me the experience to see how other schools operate. I had the opportunity rather to see how other schools operate, and it also made me become so aware of schools that I don't want to teach in. And what I've actually identified, I might be wrong, but the number of schools I've been in the last academic year, I realize anytime there is a secondary school that is managed by a woman, there always seems to be a number of challenges. It's either they're not too confident about themselves and their role, or they become over obsessed and trying to prove themselves. As a result of that, the staff team is very, very unhappy, and there seems to be issues in that area. So that is what I've actually observed from teaching in various schools in the last academic year, because I had the opportunity of teaching from May until July, doing supply work, daily cover, and it was fantastic because it gave me the opportunity to see how a range of school operates in terms of the resources, in terms of the teaching, in terms of the number of culture diverse teachers they had on the staff, also looking at the culturally diverse SLT, which means senior management team. So all those, it's been really fantastic in terms of the opportunity. So that's what I'm grateful for, that opportunity to being able to identify and see how other schools operate. So that was quite good. As I say, I'm still enjoying the school I'm in, the girls' school I'm in, although I've said to myself that I wasn't going to teach in another girls' school because this is the third girls' school I have taught in the last academic year. And some of them have not been, the experience have not been very positive in relationship to the way the girls were connecting and the ability to navigate the whole system and the eagerness to learn. That was another thing for me. But this girls' school have actually proved to be very different from the rest of them. So that's quite good. So that's something I'm grateful for as well. I'm also grateful for being alive. And the enjoyment of my bed this morning. Yes, I'm getting up a lot all year now because I'm trying to get to the school on time. And there have been a number of challenges in relationship to the traffic getting there on time, although it's the closest school I've actually walked in, yet still it's far. As I say, it's so close but yet still far in relationship to the public transport. Whereas when I was traveling on British Rail, although it was further out, I was getting there much quicker because of being on the train. But here, although it's quite close to my home, getting there is quite challenging. What's my win today? Whoa, there've been quite a lot. I've had a number of student group I have not met before, so I've actually connected with them. And it's been really, really fantastic the way the students are actually connecting, because my teaching style is very different. I don't chalk and talk. I don't go by whatever, the traditional teaching style is. I just teach Debbie way because I think it's so important that the students enjoy the teaching and they connect with teaching, they connect with the subject. So that's the way I teach. It doesn't matter how many mistakes they make, it's a learning curve. So that's an area of, my teaching. So that's one of my wins. The student actually connected and they felt it was okay to call out the answers, even though some of them wasn't real correct. But that's okay because I said to them, my main thing is to get them to communicate with me. It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. The factor is communication, and it's okay to make mistake. From mistake, we're able to learn from that. So it's so interesting because I had a year 10. My last lesson was a year 10 and there were a group of 29. The beautiful thing is, although some of them, the answers they were given was way off key, they initially they thought, okay, they were given the answers, but then when I put the answers on the board, they realized that, what they said was incorrect. But the beautiful thing is, as I said, they felt confident enough to step out of the comfort zone and give me an answer. So that was really, really good. They're still chatty, but that's not an issue for me. Chattiness, yes. While I was talking to some of the teachers there, they say, oh, we've got behavior problem. No, you guys don't have behavior problem. You guys have children that are chatty. That's not a real behavior problem. That's situation we could deal with. Is when they're not learning and when they're disruptive, that's what I call behavior problem. So the chattiness is not a great deal for me. But I also feel that we have a lot of control over that because we could deal with that. So in terms of my win, the students are connecting. One of the downside for me today was I taught for the 5 lessons per day. So I taught for 5 lessons. My break the only time I had a break was lunchtime, which was 35 minutes. And the other break was my break time, which was 15 or 20 minutes, I think. But even when I had that time, I had to quickly, get my lessons sorted and stuff like that. So it's just a reminder for me that, oh my goodness, there's some days that you'll have no breaks. It's just teaching back to back. Tiring, but enjoyable. So yet again, it's a reminder of educators need to have real strong bladder, because once you actually get into the classroom, it's like, it's either the student come to you or you rush into another classroom. So you don't have time to even see the bathroom sometimes. And when you hear people say, oh, educators have strong bladders or they have to have strong bladders, it's real. Yes, I've known that for a while, but it's a reminder, especially today, where I had 5 lessons and it was back to back, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, yes, I've got another lesson quickly. What am I teaching with the student? Yes, sort it out in your head, get your lesson plan and stuff like that. But apart from that, it was a fantastic, enjoyable day. So I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to empower my students. And believe me, they're becoming empowered because they're beginning to step out of their comfort zone. We're doing various stuff in terms of the stretching, they're communicating, they're feeling free to give me the answers. It's just really wonderful. And tomorrow I'll be meeting some of the groups I have not seen. And I realize when I look at my timetable, that school, the groups I'm teaching 4-year, 13 groups. I'm teaching 4-year, 12 groups. I'm teaching, I think it's 2-year, 10 group. And I'm teaching 2-year, 11 groups. So it's like full on, because that school, this is the first school I've actually been in that they've got 4-year 13 groups. Normally, most schools would have 2-year 13 groups, but this school have 4-year 13. That is the sixth form, the second year of sixth form. So in that school, that's got 4 groups of sixth form in the second year. It's quite challenging, but it's quite fun. So those are some of the things I've done with the students today, and it's been great. It's been great. I'm still enjoying it. it's interesting because one of the things I say to the student, because I give them, like the basket of quotes. And then I ask the whole class, because all of that would take me about 5 minutes. I say, what you're grateful for. And one student said to me that, she said to us in the class that I'm grateful for food. So that was quite an interesting thing in terms of at that age, because she's 16, the things that they see as important and the things they're grateful for. Whereas another student say, oh, she's grateful for the fact that she's in school because they've had 3 months off. Well, initially I said to them, I said, oh, you guys, you guys' brains seems to be tired and you guys are not very proactive because I'm talking to you guys, but you all seem to be zoned out. So let's have a break and let's do a stretch, etc., etc. One student said to me, Miss, it's not 6 weeks, We've been off for 3 months. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, yes, you've been off for 3 months. But in my head, I'm looking at the 6 weeks, the summer break. But it's a reminder they've been out longer than that. And one of the things is because they've been out longer than that, we need to do a lot of pep talking, a lot of reminding them, because they've developed some lazy habits and also some negative habits. As I said yesterday, some of the name calling, the negative name calling that you're stupid, you're dumb, and all those things. Because maybe there's some of the names they would actually call the siblings when they're at home. And I was just showing them today again with another group how negative those languages are and the impact it could have upon them. So this is something is like I'm constantly on it with the student. And another beautiful thing about it is some of them are beginning to call upon their peers when they realize that someone have said something negative. So they're saying, oh, you're not supposed to be saying that because this is the reason why when you say this is how it feels, etc. So that's quite good. So I've actually got my students to, connect on that. Anyway, guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow is another full-on day, another 5 lessons of 1 hour each lesson. But as I say, my 1 hour lesson, I break them up in 20 minutes. After every 20 minutes, we have a 2 minutes break. So it's making it nice and much more enjoyable than just teaching a whole hour. I can't teach for a whole hour. It doesn't make sense because the students are not engaging anyway, so it's a pointless exercise. So educators out there who feel that, you're going to be teaching them for this whole hour or this 50 minutes because it's an exam unit, etc. Nothing is going into the brains of those students. Nothing even going into your brain, much less the student. So it is a myth when people feel that the more you teach the student, the more they're going to be learning. No, they're not. They only remember the first part of the lesson and the last part of the lesson. The middle part becomes, it disappears basically. So there is no point in that. So the brain actually connects in chunks, 20-minute chunks. So therefore, that's a better way to actually connect with a student in 20-minute chunks. So there is no point in saying, oh yes, I have to do this, what I have on my scheme or my lesson plan, etc. It's a waste of time because when you actually test the student, after you realize, oh my goodness, they haven't got anything. There's no point in getting angry about it. It's the way we teach, it's the way we have been programmed to teach. But we need to deprogram ourselves and relearn a new way of teaching. And that's what we need to start doing as educators. Another thing is, a question I'm posing out there, educators, if there are any educators out there, what are your views on homework? I'm one of these teachers who don't believe in homework because homework doesn't serve any purpose. I feel it's a waste of time. What I would give my student is prepare for my lesson tomorrow. So I'll give them the topics that I'm doing and I say, okay, you guys need to prepare for the lesson tomorrow so that when we go over it, you have an idea of what the topic is about. If you don't understand it, we discuss it further. But in terms of giving homework, who have time to mark this homework when you've got 29 students in your class? For me, you've got 5, I've got 5 lessons per day. Could you imagine me giving every student homework? And in the classes are big. My smallest class is 19. So could you imagine giving every student homework every night? Oh my goodness, I'll be burnt out. There's no point in giving homework because who is going to mark it? we might as well give them work to prepare for the lesson the next day. It makes more sense, because it actually means they're also eager to do it, because you're saying, okay, this is what we're doing tomorrow, guys. I want you guys to prepare for it, because when I come in, I might just say to you guys after the first 20 minutes, can you summarize it? Can you tell me what you remember, etc.? I feel that is a much more responsive way than me saying to them, do this pile of homework, then do this pile of homework. And guess what? It's nice in the book, nicely underlined. Do they understand anything at all? Have they got anything in the head at all? Or are they just not, just copying things from the internet, putting it in the text in the book and just handing it to us? Waste of time. I don't waste my time doing that. I prefer the student to engage. Another thing is, I realize my son gets homework and I'm saying to him, okay, I'm looking at this homework. Okay, no negative regarding the teachers. But when I'm reading, I say, yes, your teacher haven't read this, because I'm picking up all the errors and she sticked it. So that in itself telling me it was a waste of time she giving you homework. It'd have been better spent she saying to you, okay, I want you to prepare for the lesson the next day, and this is the topic we're looking at. So therefore, read it up, and tomorrow we discuss it. I'll put you in groups, or I'll ask you a question on it. But giving them the homework is a waste of time, because when you tick, you're just ticking. I'm guilty of that. I used to do that when I used to give homework. I just tick. Because when you have a whole pile of script in front of you, and you have to give back the book the next day because you're taking the homework the day before, what good is that? So through this journey, I've learned alternative ways to make sure that I test my student. The homework doesn't test them. That's my view on that. And I've actually went to interviews, and when they said to me, what do you in terms of what are your views on homework? Frankly, I say that I don't believe in homework. I'm being honest. So it's either they take me as an educator or not. And initially, that was a job 2 years ago, and I thought they were not going to take me, because I say very clearly, I don't believe in homework because I don't feel it serves a purpose. And I got the job anyway. So that was telling me that, okay, it wasn't a bad job on that. And there are also some schools that are realizing that there's no point in giving homework, even though parents have decided to take one particular school in Bedfordshire to Ofsted, saying that the school wasn't giving homework. Ofsted said, well, it's entirely up to the school how they assess the students. It makes sense. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for listening. Have a great evening. Take care. Stay blessed. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for day 5 of the first week going back to school. And I'll tell you whether or not I'm still enjoying it after having 5 lessons tomorrow. With my only break is lunchtime and my quick break time. But in spite of all of that, teaching is fun, because I do feel that I'm making a difference. Take care, guys. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.